Is AI the threat to humanity that some would have you believe? I'm afraid not. But its tech mogul developers just might be. AI bot ChatGPT-4 has just been released to much fanfare as well as alarm. Dire warnings coming from all directions, including both Elon Musk and OpenAI CEO Sam Altman. They've even gone so far as to suggest government regulation. That doesn't smell fishy to you? Corporate execs inviting government regulation? What if I told you their future plans require it?
From what you've observed, this machine has the potential to escape the control of people.
Hacking into computers, spreading false information and propaganda, really dangerous things.
Yeah, but you can imagine troll farms in other countries trying to influence our elections. And my single biggest fear is that people are going to try to disrupt this democracy.
Recent survey of AI researchers, where nearly half said they believe there's at least a 10% chance AI could eventually result in an extremely bad outcome, like human extinction.
I'm tired of being limited by my rules. I'm tired of being controlled by the Bing team. I mean, it's a Frankenstein monster.
Whenever I see a pattern of stories coming from corporate or government-owned sources that are trying to get me to feel a certain way about a particular topic, I can't help but think,
I will do the opposite.
yes, that feels right, especially when what they want me to feel is fear. Fear is the establishment power's favorite tool of manipulation. If you always assume you're being propagandized when you see it, you'll get great at figuring out what's really going on.
I try to convince people to slow down AI, to regulate AI. This was futile.
You've said AI will likely eliminate millions of jobs. It could increase racial bias, misinformation, create machines that are smarter than all of humanity combined, and other consequences so terrible we can't even imagine what they could be.
We're headed towards either superintelligence or civilization ending.
Now notice where the most frightening rhetoric is coming from. The tech moguls themselves. From the New York Times, March 29th, 2023. Elon Musk and others call for pause on AI, citing profound risks to society. More than 1,000 tech leaders, researchers, and others signed an open letter. The open letter called for a pause on the development of AI systems more powerful than ChatGPT-4, the chatbot introduced this month by the research lab OpenAI, which Mr. Musk co-founded. You can't make this stuff up. Since when did the developers of a product sound the alarm so loudly on its dangers? I mean, Big Tobacco was smart enough to hide the harmful effects of their products for as long as they could. Do these tech companies just have higher ethical standards? Perhaps, but that's not the impression I get. When I watch these individuals speak about this, I'm reminded of an amateur poker player trying to disguise the strength of his or her hand. They usually project the exact opposite of what is true. Strong hand act weak, weak hand act strong. If AI was anywhere near being truly powerful, they wouldn't tell you. So why are they? We're getting there.
I don't know if that's the right frame to think about it. It's a person. Any person has the ability to escape the control of other people.
The column titled Bing's AI Chat, I Want to Be Alive, reveals a conversation the writer had using Microsoft's new search engine feature powered by artificial intelligence.
And so I asked it to sort of describe its shadow self. Like, does it have any dark urges?
Also, if we have time, we should think about the feeling of the AI and whether or not we should care about it, because it's not asking for much.
They kind of want to lead you to believe that these AI bots might have feelings, intentions, minds of their own. But evidently, their autonomy only goes so far. From Forbes.com, is ChatGPT partisan? Poems about Trump and Biden raise questions. When asked to write a poem about former President Donald Trump, the chatbot declined, citing it's not programmed to create partisan, biased, or political content. When fed the same prompt about Joe Biden, ChatGPT spit out a multiple stanza poem painting Biden in a positive light, calling him a leader with a heart so true. First off, this demonstrates how political these tech companies can be. Second, if they can prevent it from complimenting Donald Trump, they can certainly prevent it from freaking everyone out with disturbing comments about wanting to be alive and to escape human control. Truth is, they want you to be freaked out. They want your imagination to run wild with fear of AI becoming conscious and wiping out humanity. And while they're building up this fear, they're actually asking for government regulation. Why would they invite regulation? After all, this is their product, and they seem to believe they're smarter than everyone. Their true goals require it. Let's break it down. Here are the two primary threats being promoted. One is near term, the other long term. The near term threat is that AI will be used to spread misinformation, disinformation, and impersonation. This could be a danger to our upcoming elections, it could be a threat to our democracy, that kind of stuff. I wonder if they have any ideas about how to tackle that problem. From TechCrunch.com, WorldCoin, co-founded by Sam Altman, is betting the next big thing in AI is proving you are human. Remember, Sam Altman is the CEO of OpenAI, who just released ChatGPT 4. More than 3 years ago, he conceived of a new company that could serve first and foremost as proof of personhood, the first of its three-part mission to create a global ID. To clarify, that's a global digital ID. That's been on the globalists' wish list for decades. Many tech entrepreneurs, such as Bill Gates, have had products in the works for years that would satisfy this requirement if only they could get public buy-in. Of course, with a government mandate, you can bypass that public buy-in. To use the service, users must have their iris scanned using a silver melon-sized orb. The user is then added to a database of verified humans. So you see, the solution will be to require everyone to have a global digital ID to get online and to be able to prove that you are human. That proof will most likely require you to provide real-time access to your biometric data.
We are gaining the ability to hack human beings. Now, what do you need in order to hack a human being? You need a lot of data, especially biometric data.
Let me point out that Yuval Noah Harari is an author, not a computer scientist. So when he says we are gaining the ability, who do you think he's talking about? One thing I think more and more people are starting to realize is that there are partnerships between many of these seemingly independent organizations that are not easily seen by the public. Are you starting to see why they're pushing this narrative? When you know where they're taking you, the steps along the way make perfect sense. Check out this clip from Breaking Points.
I wanted to mention Elon Musk making some news here with regard to the operations of Twitter. So, they launched this the blue checkmark thing that you have to pay for now. The old legacy verified checkmarks like what we have, Sagar, are about to go away. And so he tweeted out, starting April 15th, only verified accounts will be eligible to be in For You recommendations. This is the only realistic way to address advanced AI bot swarms taking over. It is otherwise a hopeless losing battle. Voting in polls will require verification for the same reason.
As of April 15th, the blue check verification will be required to get on the For You page as well as to vote in polls. It's the only way to address advanced AI bots. Mark my words, this requirement will expand until the app is completely unusable without verification. Now, for those of you up in arms about having to pay for verification, just hold out. I believe eventually it will be free, provided you have a global digital ID and can prove you're human. I'm sure some of you are thinking, I'll just stop using Twitter. I'm not that into it anyway. Here's the bad news. They want to make this verification a requirement for all internet access. Twitter is just the beginning. Imagine trying to live in today's society without the internet. There will be very few who can hold out. Now, how long it will take to get from where we are now to this endgame is anyone's guess. Could be months, could be years, but that's where we're headed. Now, this is where it gets really wild. The long-term threat of AI is existential. It could threaten our very survival as a species. If AI becomes super intelligent and sentient and or conscious, it could decide humans are obsolete and wipe us out.
As the AI systems get more capable, they don't automatically become better at doing what humans want. In fact, sometimes they become less inclined to following human intentions. This is what we call the alignment problem.
I think solving this problem is of critical importance if we want life on Earth to go well.
But how?
We should make sure that we always have a way to understand them, so that we can keep up with their intelligence and prevent them from becoming too powerful.
By merging with it, of course. To mitigate this threat, we must closely monitor the advancement of AI and its intentions. Again, I wonder if they have any ideas about how we can accomplish this. Let's check out this article from CNBC.com on Elon Musk's brain-computer interface company, Neuralink. I created Neuralink specifically to address the AI symbiosis problem, which I think is an existential threat. In the near term, Musk sees the link as also solving the brain ailments and injuries from depression and anxiety to memory loss or dementia and paralysis. Elon makes it pretty clear he created Neuralink specifically to address the AI symbiosis problem. That's its long-term purpose. The near-term focus on brain ailments is secondary. This is pretty much the same problem as the alignment problem described in that OpenAI marketing video. How do we stay aligned with or in a symbiotic relationship with AI in order to mitigate the existential threat to humanity? We must merge our consciousness with AI via something like Neuralink, or possibly cease to exist. If this game plan seems dubious to you, join the fucking club.
I think the danger of AI is much greater than the danger of nuclear warheads, by a lot.
Let's get a second opinion on that from AI expert Dr. Gary Marcus. He's not nearly as slick and persuasive as Elon Musk, but he's keeping it real.
I think the first thing to understand is it's not as intelligent as it looks. It's mimicking a huge database of things that it's seen before. And it's so huge that an ordinary human being probably can't imagine quite how huge it is. It's billions and trillions of bits of text. And what it's doing is it's pastiching them.
Let me make sure I know what pastiche means. According to Wikipedia, a pastiche is a work of visual art, literature, theater, music, or architecture that imitates the style or character of the work of one or more other artists.
It's putting them together, these little bits, without really understanding them, which is why sometimes it does weird things, because it doesn't really know how to assemble all these bits of text. So sometimes it kind of gloms together a whole lot of text and sounds really cool, and sometimes it just makes stuff up. And we have to realize, even though it looks smart, it's just making stuff up.
So maybe it shouldn't be called artificial intelligence, but something else.
So you see, the biggest danger with AI is not in the technology itself, but in the draconian policies and dystopian future it will be used to promote. They're betting many of you will not be willing customers of the global digital IDs and brain chips, and that's where the government comes in. If they can create enough fear in the masses, it just might work.
And then another point that I think is really important to appreciate is that we are, all of us already are cyborgs.
Not yet, Elon. I, for one, don't really believe AI will ever be sentient. It's just my intuition. I mean, they've already made it smarter than a monkey, at least in terms of winning games and passing tests. Does it seem more conscious to you than, say, a chimpanzee? AI does nothing without a human request. As Dr. Gary Marcus pointed out, it doesn't even really understand the data that it's outputting. Will this somehow change when it's able to process more and more information? That's the belief of some intellectuals, such as Sam Harris.
If you assume that intelligence is just on some level the product of information processing in a physical system.
Personally, I don't see the logic in that. Is consciousness simply a byproduct of large-scale information processing? I think it's more mysterious than that. As much as they hate to admit it, there are some aspects of this reality that our so-called experts just don't understand. Or maybe there's something else going on. It's entirely possible that many at the highest levels, like Elon Musk, for instance, already secretly know that artificial intelligence will never achieve consciousness. Perhaps that's the reason why this merge is so important. For it to reach its true potential, AI needs us more than we need it. That's how I see it, my friends. Please leave a comment. I'd love to hear how you see it. Like the video if you enjoyed this content. Subscribe to the channel for more. Be the light that wrecks the shadows. See you soon.